Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be studying about minerals and we'll be studying about the notes. So in minerals are naturally occurring, note all these points, naturally occurring homogeneous substances with definite chemical composition. Based on chemical and physical properties, minerals can be divided into metallic and non-metallic minerals. Differences between metallic and non-metallic minerals are, so there are only 3 points that you need to learn. It may be asked as a 2-mark question or a 3-mark question. So the first point is metallic minerals contain metal in the raw form. Non-metallic minerals do not contain metals. So as the name suggests, metallic minerals are minerals which contain some form of metal in it, but non-metallic minerals do not contain metals, as the name suggests. These metals these metals are generally associated with igneous rocks. So this is the second point. These are associated with igneous rocks, and non-metallic minerals are associated with sedimentary rocks. Third point, they are usually hard and have a shine of their own. They are not usually hard and have no shine of their own. So they are usually hard, they are not usually hard, and metallic minerals have a shine of their own, but non-metallic minerals do not have a shine of their own. And then finally, the fourth point. Okay, one more thing that I would like to say is that examples do count as points. So don't think that examples do not count as point and you just include it in the first point. So even if you add a separate point of examples, it will be counted as a genuine point. So the fourth point is iron, copper, bauxite, tin. It's basically examples of metallic minerals, and the examples of non-metallic minerals are salt, coal, mica, and clay. Okay, now characteristics of minerals. Main characteristics of minerals are not evenly distributed on the surface of the earth. They are very unevenly distributed over the surface of the earth. So if we take oil and petroleum, so oil and petroleum are mostly found, their reserves are mostly found in the Middle East. It's not evenly distributed all over the world. Okay, so let's move on to the next point. So this was point one. Point two, minerals are exhaustible over a period of time. Because they cannot be replenished immediately, they need to be conserved. So minerals are, they take thousands and thousands of years to form. So if they get, okay, so the third point, all minerals do not have uniform properties. They have different chemical compositions. And finally, the fourth point, minerals differ with each other in color, luster, and texture. So they may be solid or liquid, they may be black or yellow, they may shine or not shine, etc. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let's erase all of this. Okay, let's move on to coal. Okay, so minerals in India. India is rich in many minerals because of its varied geological structure. Some commonly found minerals in India are coal, bauxite, mica, iron ore, and manganese. Let's look at coal. Coal occurs in the sedimentary rocks. It occurs in the sedimentary rocks, therefore, coal is classified as a non-metallic mineral. It was found when plants and ferns were buried. So they may ask you the formation of coal. So it is from here, found when plants and ferns were buried in the swamp forest. This is point number one. Heat and pressure exerted by many layers which were formed over these decayed plants resulted in many physical and chemical changes. This is point number two. And this will be the formation of coal. Let's move on to the second question. Coal contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and small amounts of phosphorus and sulfur. And the third point, these are characteristics of coal. Depending on the amount of carbon, moisture, and volatile matter present, coal can be classified into 4 types. Categories: anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. So these are 4 categories of coal. Okay, so let's move on to each one of them. First is anthracite. I'll just erase whatever we've written right now. And it is the hardest and the high quality coal, as it has a carbon content of over 90% and burns slowly without smoke. So this is point number one. Point number two, it leaves very little ash behind and has a high heating value. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. The next point, we have bituminous. Okay, its carbon content varies from 50% to 80%, so it is an inferior quality compared to anthracite. So this is point number one. Point number two, it is hard and black. It makes up about 80% of the total coal output in the world. It is widely used for household purposes. It is popularly used in various industries. High-grade bituminous coal is best used in blast furnaces for smelting iron. Let's move on to lignite. This is the third quality. This is the third category of coal. It is a low-grade coal, also known as brown coal. So it is also known as brown coal. It is soft with high moisture content. Then finally, let's move on to peat. Okay, now what about peat? Peat, it has the least carbon content and is inferior to other three varieties of coal. The other three varieties of coal we recently studied, they are lignite, anthracite, and bituminous. It represents the first stage of transformation of wood into coal. And finally, we move on to uses of coal. This is very important. In exam, they may ask you list all the uses of coal. So depending on the marks, the question marks, you may list it as point. You may list 2 points or 3 points. Usually, it's recommended to list just 3 points, even if it is a 2-marker question. Okay, let's move on to the first question. It is used in thermal uses of coal. It is used in thermal plants for generating electricity. Okay. Second one, it is used as a source of heat. It is used as a source of heat and energy for domestic purposes. Third point, it is used for manufacturing iron and steel. So it is basically used in industries. It is used as raw material in many industries. And finally, the fourth point, chemicals such as ammonia and benzol are obtained as byproducts from the gases which are released when the coal is burnt in closed chamber to get metallurgical coke. So if you want, you can ignore this point. You may just read it as general knowledge, but I recommend you may remember just these 3 points. Okay, so let's move on to distribution of coal. Okay, let's study the distribution of coal. In India, coal is found in two main fields, Gondwana coal fields and tertiary coal fields. Bituminous coal is generally found in India. Gondwana coal fields, it accounts for 98% of the total coal reserves in India. It is nearly free of moisture. It is found in the river valleys of Damodar, Mahanadi, and Godavari. Gondwana coal deposits are found in West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Odisha. So, when they list all these states, they list many states, they list 6 or 7 states. All you need to do is to memorize the first 2 states or maximum 3 states. Usually, I would recommend memorizing the first 2 states. So, the first 2 states which hold Gondwana coal deposits are West Bengal and Jharkhand. Finally, we move on to tertiary coal fields, which just contributes to 2% of India's coal reserves. The first point, the coal found in the tertiary coal fields have high moisture content. These fields are generally found in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, and Nagaland. So you may, from these states, you may conclude that the tertiary coal fields are mainly found in the northeast region of India. So all you need to remember is Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, let's move on to the next non-conventional source of energy, petroleum. Okay, so what about petroleum? Petroleum is a mixture of hydrocarbon compounds. So hydrocarbon basically means compounds which are composed of 2 elements, hydrogen and carbon. It is found in underground reservoirs. This is very important. I'll just list this in points. It is found in underground reservoirs in sedimentary rock. This is also important. Underground reservoirs and sedimentary rocks, rock formations such as sandstone, shale, and limestone. This will be point number 3. So let's the examples of sedimentary rock formations. You may write sedimentary rock formations and underground reservoirs. So this will be your definition for the distribution of petroleum and how it is formed. Petrol, diesel, tar, kerosene, LPG, and paraffin wax are some products which are obtained during the refining process. Okay, uses of petroleum, it is used as a fuel as is known, and plays a major role in land, sea, and air transport. So land, you have automobiles, sea, you have ships. So in land, you have automobiles, in sea, you have ships, and in air, you have aeroplanes. So this is point 1. Point 2, after refining, petroleum is used in the production of various petrochemicals such as gasoline, lubricating oil, and printing ink. And finally, it is used for power generation. Okay, let's look at the distribution now. It is found in Mumbai High, which is located off 176 km of Mumbai in the Arabian Sea. This is the first point. Digboy oil field in Assam is the biggest oil field in India. Okay, so they may ask which is the largest oil field in India. So the largest oil field in India is the Digboy oil field in Assam, is the biggest oil field in India. And let's move on to the third point. Khambat Basin in Gujarat is the main oil field. Other important oil fields are Kalol, Koyali. These are some oil field reserves you may note down. All in all, there are 21 oil refineries in India. The Reliance Petroleum Limited at Jamnagar, the Reliance Petroleum Limited at Jamnagar in Gujarat was the first oil refinery in the private sector. The Digboy oil refinery is the oldest refinery in India. Okay, so these are some facts to remember. Let's move on to the next question. The next conventional source of energy, which is the iron ore. Okay. Now, what about iron ore? Name of iron ores and their characteristics. So it is divided into three categories. So first is hematite, the second is magnetite, and the third is limonite. So hematite is known as a red ore, magnetite is known as the black ore. They have their respective color definitions, and limonite, it is known as yellow brown. Okay. Hematite, it contains about 60 to 70% of pure iron. Magnetite is the best quality of iron ore and contains more than 70% of iron. It possesses magnetic property and hence is called magnetite. So you can see why it has the word magnet written in the word. And finally, we have limonite. It is of inferior quality as it contains 35 to 50% of iron. Okay, now distribution of hematite, it is found in Odisha and Jharkhand. You just need to remember two states. That's all you need to remember. Magnetite is found in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So this is in the south part of India. Limonite is found in Uttarakhand and in Uttar Pradesh. So if you want, you may remember the districts, Garhwal and Mirzapur district. And let's study the distribution of major iron ore deposits. So let's scroll down and let's erase whatever we written. So Chhattisgarh is the regions in Chhattisgarh which produce iron ore deposits are okay. One more thing that I would like to say, basically, if they ask distribution of minerals such as coal, petroleum, iron ore, etc. So even if you don't remember the states, you may just write Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. Actually, these are the only three states that like come in almost every category of mineral sources of energy. Okay, so let's move on. Major iron deposits in India are Chhattisgarh, you have Beladilla and Dantewada and Durg district. Then Odisha, you have Keonjhar, Mayurbhanj. So just remember two districts in this, Beladilla and Dantewada and Durg district. Okay, Karnataka, the Baba Budan Hills in Chikmagalur. You have the Sandur Bellary Hospital. So these are some regions which you may remember relating to Karnataka. In Goa, you have North Goa. Andhra Pradesh, you have Anantapur, Khammam. So you may just remember two districts from these. Tamil Nadu, you have Salem. Then you have Coimbatore. And utilization. So Chhattisgarh supplies deposits to the Bhilai Iron and Steel Plant. Odisha supplies deposits to steel plants located at Durgapur, Bokaro, Jamshedpur, and Roorkela. Karnataka supplies raw material to Bhadravati Iron Works. So these are some utilization points you may remember. Okay, so let's move on to manganese. Okay, so Maharashtra and Rajasthan is also given, but that's okay. You can remember those two. So Maharashtra, you have Ratnagiri and Chandrapur districts, and in Rajasthan, you have Moriza and Bhilwara and Udaipur districts. Okay, so let's move on to manganese. It is a black hard metal which is mainly used as a raw material for smelting iron ore and is used for manufacturing ferroalloys. Okay, this is very important, ferroalloys and for smelting iron ore. Uses of manganese, it is an important raw material in the iron and steel industry as it is used for hardening steel and prevents it from rusting. Point number one. Point number two, it is used in dry cell batteries. It is also used in formation of many alloys. And fourth, it is used in chemical, glass, and electrical industries. So you may remember any 3 points from these. And let's look at the distribution of manganese in India. Okay. So Andhra Pradesh, it is found in Adilabad and Vishakhapatnam. And Goa, it is found in, I'm not sure how do I pronounce this, Sangam. And then Jharkhand, you have Singhbhum and you have Chaibasa. In Karnataka, you have Sandur and Shimoga. In Madhya Pradesh, you have Mandla and Jabalpur. In Maharashtra, you have Nagpur and Bandra. In Odisha, you have Keonjhar and Mayurbhanj. In Rajasthan, you have Banswara, Udaipur, and Pali. So these are some distribution of manganese in India. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.